The President. Members, the officials, good morning. Questions. Question 1, Mr. Chan Siu-hung. Thank you, Madam President. Over the past decade, the Hong Kong government has invested more than $200 billion through various dedicated funds and funding schemes to support the development of innovation and technology, covering areas such as smart city development, enhancing the INT ecosystem, and promoting the development of strategic industries. In this connection, will the government inform this council? First, given that various policy bureaus have launched projects about supporting INT development, whether the government will fully review the effectiveness of such project. Second, there are views that the current funding model has led to the dispersal and duplication of government resources and the failure to focus on strategic development directions and create synergy. Of the mechanism put in place by the government to ensure that the fund allocation approach of these projects can tie in with the current needs of INT development in Hong Kong. And third, as it is learned that the authorities in Singapore regularly launch 5-year technology development plans to coordinate the development directions and fund allocation of various projects, whether the government will refer to the practices of Singapore or elsewhere to establish a mechanism for coordinating the allocation of resources in support of INT development. Secretary for Innovation, Technology and Industry. President, having consulted relevant government bureaus and departments, we give our consolidated reply to Mr. Chan's question as follows. Innovation and technology are drivers for economic growth and the key to enhancing competitiveness of our industries. The Innovation, Technology and Industry Bureau, or ITIB, which is responsible for formulating holistic INT policies, has always been following the development directions and strategies set out in the Hong Kong Innovation and Technology Development Bureau promulgated in 2022 in guiding Hong Kong towards our vision of an international INT center. The blueprint calls for a focus on the development of INT industries of strategic importance, enhancements to the INT ecosystem, and promotion of the interactive development of the upstream, midstream, and downstream sectors. In the upstream sector, we endeavor to consolidate and strengthen our universities' robust research and development capability, fully leveraging our ability to achieve pioneering breakthroughs. As for the midstream and downstream sectors, we have launched various schemes to promote the one-to-end transformation of R&D outcomes and the industry's development. The current government launched 3 $10 billion schemes, including the Research, Academic and Industry Sectors 1+ scheme, which aims to expedite the transformation and commercialization of research outcomes, and the New Industrialization Acceleration scheme, which aims to encourage industries of strategic importance to set up new smart production facilities in Hong Kong, and the INT Industry-Oriented Fund, which aims to channel more market capital to specified emerging and futures industries of strategic importance. The HKSL government pursues a clear and consistent INT industrial policy to devote resources to support emerging and future industries that show growth potential and can generate economic value for Hong Kong, taking into account global technology trends and our local edge. In particular, the Innovation and Technology Commission under the ITIB, through various funding schemes under the Innovation and Technology Fund, encourages and assists universities, research institutes, and companies in Hong Kong in upgrading their technologies. Each funding scheme under the ITF has a specific objective, scope, and operational model. The ITC reviews the operation and effectiveness of its funding schemes from time to time, and also launches special calls for projects in view of the latest technological development to address ever-changing societal needs. Meanwhile, relevant government departments and bureaus will also introduce initiatives in their respective policy purview in response to the needs of specific industries to complement our country's high-quality development through technological empowerment. For example, the Green Tech Fund under the Environment and Ecology Bureau aims to encourage and support projects with greater prospect of realization and commercialization of decarbonization and green technologies that can expedite low-carbon transformation and enhance environmental protection. The Smart Traffic Fund under the Transport and Logistics Bureau supports enterprises and organizations in conducting research on and applying vehicle-related technologies to promote long-term development of smart mobility in Hong Kong. On resource allocation, the HKSAR government takes into account the overall fiscal position as well as policy priorities, including policy initiatives that promote the development of different technologies implemented by different bureaus in mapping out arrangements each year. The purpose is to precisely direct resources to technology projects with strategic importance and enhancing synergy in interdepartmental collaboration. In fact, the HK government's efforts over the years to support INT development have been gradually paying off. The overall INT ecosystem in Hong Kong is becoming more vibrant. The number of startups rose from 1,500 in 2015 to more than 5,200 in 2025. Hong Kong Science Park and Cyberport are our two INT flagships. They have collectively nurtured and supported around 20 unicorns to date. Hong Kong has also achieved outstanding performance in different INT-related international rankings. In the World Digital Competitiveness Ranking 2025, Hong Kong ranked 4th globally, up 3 places from 2024. We continue to do well in technology, remaining 3rd globally. The Shenzhen-Hong Kong-Guangzhou cluster ranked 1st in the 2025 Global Innovation Index ranking of the world's top 100 innovation clusters for the first time. Hong Kong is also the only city in the world with 5 of the world's. We also ranked 4th globally under the survey done by the International Management Institute. Hong Kong is also the only city home to 5 of the world's top 100 universities. That shows Hong Kong has universities with teaching and research excellence, and we're also home to top-notch research talent. Looking ahead, the HKSAR government will proactively align with the National 15th Five-Year Plan and draw up a 5-year plan for Hong Kong for the first time. We will seize the immense opportunities brought by our country's development. The 5-year plan will set out strategies to consolidate and enhance Hong Kong's position as an international INT center and vision as well as core targets of Hong Kong's INT development in the next 5 years. This is our all-out effort to facilitate Hong Kong's better integration into national development and our contribution to national development. We will give play to our strengths to serve our country's strategic needs. We will closely monitor the latest developments in the INT space. We will adopt an open mind. We will look at our needs, and we will refer to the experience of different regions overseas. We will adopt a multi-pronged strategy. We will adopt a comprehensive and all-round approach to promote Hong Kong's development into an INT center so that Hong Kong can contribute to our country's drive to build strength and achieve self-reliance in high-standard technology. Mr. Chan Siu-hung. The Secretary's main reply says, the Innovation and Technology Commission looks at the latest technology development and launches calls for projects based on those considerations to respond to ever-changing needs in the community. But the industry has told me about the slow approval process. Technology is a race against time, and because of the slow process, the industry misses out on opportunities. Is the hold-up in the approval due to a shortage of staff, or is it because of inadequacies in the process? How do we make sure that the lengthy approval does not hold back our INT development? Secretary. The Innovation and Technology Commission has been a rigorous gatekeeper to ensure proper use of public funds. From 2019 to 2023, the Audit Commission conducted audit on the work of the ITC. Rigorous approval of applications aside, the ITC strives to grant the funding as soon as they can. This involves a balancing act, and this means the government and the applicant have to work together. With all the information there, the department will handle the application expeditiously. Mr. Chen can look at the situation in the mainland and in Europe. Most of the time, the fund is granted once a year. The ITC in Hong Kong adopts the same practice. Whichever scheme we're talking about, we grant the fund once a year. This is because once an application is received, we have to look at a pre-review, and the process goes through deliberations at the committee stage. This is a global practice. The same goes for the mainland. the central government and the local ministries and their funds adopt the same practice. Each of our funding schemes has a different purpose, scope, and operational model. For our funding schemes, we try to shorten the approval process for businesses. Project life cycles tend to be, or rather, the project approval usually takes a few months. The funding goes from thousands of dollars to $100 million. So you cannot compare different funding schemes apple to apple. Now, for most funding schemes, especially those for businesses, have set performance pledges for businesses from 5 working days to 2 months. The ITC also ensures that for most applications, once the applicant provides all the information needed, they can finish the approval process within the timeline. Within 20 days, the approval can be granted. I have talked to the ITC about room for expediting the approval process. In most cases, the applicant has to provide all the information needed. Circumstances vary from case to case. The government's position is clear about the ITC. When it comes to applications from the industry, from businesses, we try to shorten the approval process. The member wondered whether it's about a shortage of staff or inadequacies in the procedure. We're talking about public funds. We have to ensure public funds are properly spent. Indeed, we are short of people. There are only that many people with the right qualifications, but we get a vast amount of applications every year. Take a previous scheme. We got 10,000 applications. Despite that, I have asked our departments to do what they can to meet the needs of the industry. Thank you. Mr. Albert Trung. I'm looking at the $10 billion schemes over the years under the ITIB. In 2023, we got the Race Plus scheme. In 2024, we got the $10 billion New Industrialization Acceleration Scheme. And then in 2025, we got the $10 billion INT Industry-Oriented Fund. These schemes guide capital to our industry so that we can make an industry out of our R&D outcomes. But then for small and medium enterprises, they struggle to tell which scheme is for them. My question is for the Secretary. Given all these support funding schemes, do we have a dedicated department that provides one-stop advisory and guidance for businesses looking to apply? Secretary, we launched many schemes over the years. We have schemes not just for universities, but also schemes specifically for businesses, especially for SMEs. As at the end of March 2026, the fund funded 83,000 projects. For research projects, there were 6,800 of them. Most of the remainder were about support for SMEs. We have roughly 300,000 SMEs. That's a vast number. The ITC's approach is this. The Secretariat is with the ITC. So interested SMEs can call the hotline or go to the website of the ITC. There's a chatbot. So that's where you will get one-stop advisory services. Aside from these channels, we also have bespoke solutions for each fund. Take the New Industrialization Funding Scheme. To date, we have funded roughly 130 production lines. Through the Hong Kong Productivity Council, as well as other relevant bodies, we help the ITC with publicity. There's another scheme, not under the ITC, but under the ITIB. We have the Digital Transformation Support Scheme. We have entrusted this scheme to Cyberport. Under this scheme, we have targeted support, and for the first phase, we funded roughly 9,000 businesses, most of them being SMEs. So this is the Digital Transformation Support Pilot Scheme. Now, with the funding approved by the Legislative Council, we will also add elements of AI to this DTSPP. Altogether, we're funding roughly 30,000 businesses based on all the projects over the years. For all the schemes we have launched, including the $10 billion schemes and also all the I&T support schemes, these schemes are for SMEs. We want businesses to achieve upgrading and transformations with technology. This is a two-way process. We reach out to SMEs. We also want SMEs to look out for information provided by the government. Once again, I thank Mr. Albert Chuang for his question. Ms. Elizabeth Quat. The government is committed to I&T. I support that. Over the past decade, more than $200 billion was committed to I&T. I'm also in favor of that. People want to see what applications there are from all these technologies. How do we measure the investment, the contribution of such investment for us? Now, take the new industrialization funding scheme. 120 production lines are funded. We know how many production lines there are. But how about the profits generated? What about the jobs created? What about the productivity gains, the output gains, and the profits, as well as the boost to our gross domestic product? Does the government conduct such assessments? Will such reports be made public so that the public can get a sense of the details? Secretary. There is a follow-up, there is assessment for each scheme. If some schemes are doing well, we double down. For other schemes, if they have done what they're supposed to do, we no longer pursue those schemes. 19 schemes were assessed and consolidated. We looked at their benefits. We reduced the number of such projects from 19 to 10. We now have the I&T-oriented fund. We have the new industrialization acceleration scheme. So now the number of schemes has gone up to 13 again. I&T is a major challenge for Hong Kong. This is crucial to our future. One key indicator we look at is the contribution of manufacturing and I&T to our GDP. Over the past 2 years, we achieved a growth of 7 to 8%, but we are not happy with that number. That's because the past investments have yet to show their full returns. Take the NIAS. We see investment of nearly $3 billion. 70% of the money comes from businesses. That's solid investment. That involves land in Hong Kong. They are creating manufacturing facilities. They set up production lines. They hire workers. All that takes time. But at this rate, if we go on, our new industries and technology sectors will thrive. Take the River Loop. Nearly 80 businesses are there in the loop. They have taken a lease of 40,000 square feet, and they have the support of our NIAS. We're laying the foundations. We stick to this direction and we will see results. Mr. Ken Wong. Thank you. Singapore and elsewhere hold the R&D outcomes under their state authorities, and then there's licensing for industrialization. Will we adopt a similar practice so that publicly funded research R&Ds can be held by the government, meaning the government holding the intellectual property, so that we can turn the outcomes into government property? Secretary, Hong Kong is unique. We have to believe in the market. My question for the member is that if we vest all the intellectual property rights in the government, will that do any good for our economy, or should we stick to the current approach, meaning we leave the IP rights to the universities and companies? Which way is better? We can keep discussing this matter. We are trying out new approaches for some key projects supported by the government, such as the project through Inner Hong Kong and other channels, especially for projects of strategic importance. We encourage commercialization in these projects. For these projects, as in the case of universities, third parties such as universities may hold part of the IP right. This is an area that merits further exploration. Our concern is to create a favorable ecosystem. The government does not hold the IP rights, but universities do get involved. We can further discuss this matter down the road. Professor William Wong. The 15th Five-Year Plan proposes a far-sighted approach to plans for future industries. This includes quantum technologies, deep sea, and aeronautics. Hong Kong has this responsibility to help our country in such a push. In maritime research, quantum, and aeronautics, we have the foundation. In our funding for INT, do we have any plans for specific future industries? Secretary. We have several clear directions for our future: life and health technology, AI and robotics and data, high-end manufacturing, new energy and new manufacturing, etc. Aligning with the 15th Five-Year Plan means we have to leverage our strength to serve our country's needs. Let's take a look at examples. Take aeronautics. We had a call for project. We also set up the Inner Hong Kong research centers. Or we can look at quantum computing or maritime exploration. These areas are under consideration. Our goal is that in the soon we will come up with a plan and we will update LegCo on that. For those members who did not get to ask supplementary questions, you can put those questions at the relevant panels. Many members are concerned about how to support and promote INT, so will the Secretary please provide an update on the relevant panels?